Struggling to build your sales pipeline? Finding the best prospects feels impossible? Meet Katie, your AI SDR agent. Katie.
Setting up Google Drive desktop. Hi everyone, Leo Notenboom here for AskLeo.com. In many of the articles that I've written about OneDrive, and there have been many, I often say that it's similar to other tools like Dropbox, Google Drive, and others. In this video, I'm going to set up one of those similar tools, Google Drive. When we're done, it'll synchronize with the cloud and with any other PCs running the Google Drive desktop app signed into the same Google account. Here's the goal. It's really easy to get confused about what these applications do, so I want to start by clarifying where we're headed. The word to remember is synchronization. There will be a Google Drive folder on your computer and a Google Drive online in your Google account at drive.google.com. The Google Drive desktop app has a very simple job. Keep them in sync. That means, I'm going to be super explicit here, if a file is added to your PC's Google Drive folder, it's automatically uploaded to the same location in Google Drive Online. If a file is added to Google Drive Online, it's automatically downloaded to the equivalent location in your PC's Google Drive folder. If a file in your PC's Google Drive folder is changed, the updated copy is automatically uploaded to the same location in Google Drive Online. If a file in Google Drive Online is changed, the updated copy is automatically downloaded to the equivalent location in your PC's Google Drive folder. If a file in your PC's Google Drive folder is deleted, the file is deleted from your Google Drive Online. If a file in Google Drive Online is deleted, that file is deleted from your PC's Google Drive folder. This is so incredibly important to understand. I often hear from people who delete a file on their PC and are distressed and dismayed to find that it's been deleted online as well. That is the whole point. That is synchronization at play. If that's not what you want, then you're not supposed to be using Google Drive. Google Drive is all about synchronization. I'm going to start by showing you Google Drive Online. All we really need to do is go to drive.google.com, sign in with our Google account. For this example, it's askleotest@gmail.com with a password. And I have two-factor authentication turned on. Since I don't yet have a passkey installed on this machine, we'll have to get a verification code via a phone number. And we're in. So what we have here is Google Drive in the cloud, drive.google.com. You can store files and folders here. You can have all sorts of things up here. It's just a place to store files. And by default, the free accounts come with 15 gigabytes of available space. You can see here I actually have 3 files. I have a document, a PDF, and another document. Remember that for what happens next. Next up is the Google Drive desktop app for Windows. We're going to download that from a specific place. I've got a redirection to it here because it's kind of an odd place. It's actually buried in the support information or help center for Google Drive. We're going to install and set up Drive Desktop for Windows. We'll download it. You're going to go ahead and open it. Go ahead and run it. Yes. Do you want an application shortcut on your desktop? That's totally up to you. Add desktop shortcuts to Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides. Normally I don't, but because it's not quite what you think, I'm going to go ahead and install these, and we'll see those in a minute when we're done. Google Drive successfully installed. Yay! We'll go ahead and launch. Now we're not done yet, of course, because we still have to configure it for our account. So we'll go ahead and get started. Sign in. and that will be the same account that we used before. If you're not already signed in, you may be asked to sign in with a specific account, but in this case, since we are already signed in because we took a look at drive.google.com first, we don't have to go through that step again. Go ahead and sign in. Success, we've signed into Google Drive. We can close that window and now go back to the Google Drive app, which is in the process of setting up. Now, we're going to not do a number of things here in setup. I'll try and explain why. Most everything I chose not to do are things we can do later. What I want in this example is the simplest, most straightforward installation of Google Drive. So, we are not going to sync these additional folders, desktop, documents, and downloads. If this sounds familiar, this is very similar to OneDrive's backup, but it's done much better than OneDrive's backup. And honestly, it's one of the reasons that I tend to suggest Google Drive over OneDrive if this is the kind of thing you're trying to back up. The important thing to realize, however, is that these choices, these folders that you list here, are in addition to a folder that will be created specifically for Google Drive. So by not choosing any of these, we're still using Google Drive. There will still be a Google Drive folder. You don't have to choose these. We'll go ahead and skip. Now, it also suggests backup Google Photos. The difference is, for everything other than a photo, what I described earlier about synchronization applies. If you make a change in one place, it gets reflected in the other. As you can see here, it states that when you back up photos, it's not a synchronization, it's a backup. And if you make a change to a file, if you make a change to a photo on your PC, it will get uploaded as a new file. It's really confusing, and I'm not going to turn it on. This is the explanation, but I am going to skip this as well. Now notice you can choose two different folders. Fine, whatever. We're not going to do either of those. Notice in this case that it's actually suggesting a OneDrive folder for pictures. That's a combination of the fact that, yeah, I've got OneDrive installed in this machine, and my guess is its backup is already turned on. So we're not going to turn on either of these, and I actually do recommend this until we fully understand exactly what the implications are. So, skip. That's it. We have pretty much installed Google Drive Desktop. We'll go ahead and click on Next.
Our resolution rate was high. Like out of the gate, it was between 50 and 60% almost right from the very beginning. Neil has been awarded the fastest growing company in Canada and the fastest growing tech company in Canada 2 years in a row. And so you can imagine with that kind of scaling and the number of new customers we get every year, we needed to look for ways to help customers in a very efficient and cost-effective way. We saw 50% reduction in agent first interactions across all of our channels. Need to answer has gone from where it was close to 10 minutes and now we're down under 2. I think we could make it a fair statement that all of us are pretty emotionally attached to our money. And one of the things that Ada allowed us to do was to get that instant response to when customers ran into friction and start to build that trust and loyalty. Because we're so new, we've always had the design principle to push them back into the app or the website so that the next time they can just, effortlessly go and do it themselves. The education part is phenomenal in the AI agent. Another more complex thing that it does a really good job of is transaction disputes. So we have a way inside of our digital experience to be able to dispute a transaction, and it is good about walking.
This is explaining what offline files are about. Very much like OneDrive has its download on demand feature, this is essentially the same thing with a different name. While your files will be listed in the Google Drive folder, as we'll look here in a minute, the contents won't actually be downloaded by default. Now, as soon as you open a file in this condition, Google Drive will download it. So it'll act as if the file were on your PC. You don't change your behavior. But the difference is that there'll be a slight delay while the file is being downloaded, depending on how large the file is. And unless you've downloaded the file by trying to open it, the data is not on your PC. Therefore, the data won't be backed up if that's what you were counting on. So we'll go ahead and open Drive.